You can let everybody fly out. I'm dropping that fly.
Yeah.
It's much easier. Yeah. Sorry, 2 hour purchase.
Especially when they're quick to do stuff. So yesterday, I remember when I woke up, it was that storm.
Oh, yes. Got that one for sure, one for safety, but I'm sure they hope they will come. And that they. Now where it used to be, that is terrible. There it is, it is. Well, I'm sure we'll be coming around that process. Did you remember that? Yeah. Oh, look at the health insurance, and it looked, the changes will probably. Yeah, in the first, you know, I know health insurance, shit, I didn't really for them, because they were published at 10 million. But now when I go to print it, if I put all of like what you've done over here, like really little, and then it shows like a gray line kind of. Okay, so it's just trying to print out what they're on. Yeah. And I do front row to that, because you know. I used to sitting back there on the back, my picture. You better behave yourself, we'll try. Yeah. Y'all do, I say it, but I had specifically for you and to. She called me last time. So I saw it while they, and she said, of course, fine. She's not even. This is our work ladies are.
How are you?
I'm Susan Stewart.
Okay. So should I stand?
A lot of people get presentations from right up here, but wherever you're comfortable at is fine. But you want to sit here, or if you want to stand up and go up with that, so you can go right here and say, you want to be.
Yeah, I forgot all about that deal yesterday. I was like, oh,
What deal?
I had to take Crystal too.
Is he okay?
Yeah, she's fine.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Oh, mercy.
Me too. We'll have none.
Oh. Don't be bored, it's all the same.
We're not in court. We're not in court. Well, that's my perception.
So I think I was thought about how it's going to get presentation on Zoom.
He's got the link, you can email him already.
Okay.
What is this?
We got it. What do you
Updated
say?
schedule. So this one ain't no good, no. Yeah, I was thinking we was gonna have tomorrow.
I'll get that bit for meetings or.
You want to give it easy sessions?
Is this thing on? I know folks want to know what I'm having to say.
Liz, did you get your ears lowered?
Yeah, Friday.
What is that?
Yes, sir.
Friday.
Huh?
Yes, sir.
Oh,
How do I look?
you look great, I noticed.
Thank you.
Okay. Bring up her now.
She might have butchered. What you did.
I don't know why that it had to be, spelled out here, TCDRS. We're all adults here. You can just say it.
Read it.
TDRCS.
How do you prove the numbers on?
Oh.
We always found it. You should always say that.
I question whether we understand what we're saying or meaning. Some cases.
And in Judge and Commissioners, I did print some of the scenarios, some of those. If the match is increased, how does that impact the plan? Expected,
Okay.
because I know sometimes there's either technical trouble, so I know we can do an initial review printing, but if you have a computer set up, I would just need to. Whatever is easier than what we need. I also provided the history ever since the county joined.
He's had to and all she does is cry, because of that, time she heard, but one time, I think the yesterday, yes, it was, anxious, you know, I don't want you guys on because she just came on. Because that's the other one, he's been that something, so, and then she found us, but I also said that. Then another thing was showing today, and they care.
You doing okay? I'm sorry I didn't get back to you. I was at the Republican Club. Yeah.
Yeah, does we want to so I think they're on the next 3 times.
Hard, good, good street, both and. It's more of it, oh, that. Yeah.
That's the problem. Pretty soon. They think you're deep.
You missed Danny just a bit.
So we had eight commissioners, 32 piece on one term, 2 terms.
Oh,
Your bills is just 40.
So are you connected?
What do you want? Right here, come here. Everybody else does too, get in line. Everybody else does too.
That's the issue.
That was a great call. That's old meeting. So it's unable to run meeting. Somehow.
No, Judge, he told me to send it to you.
It's his job.
Yeah. Where was that guy?
Southeast Texas. At 400, he had,
It'll be fine.
orange, yeah.
Are your phones muted?
Mine are.
Nearly 200 million home.
Nobody ever calls me,
It'll be good, good pollination.
I'm getting
except the Baker family. I've gotten 3, I don't know who the Baker family is, but I've gotten 3 FaceTime calls over the last 24 hours. Baker family, missed video call. 2 this morning and 1 yesterday afternoon. I have no idea who the Baker family are. So
Maybe you should take a call. Find out. It could be somebody, no, an inheritance since you.
We, I measured everything.
it's more likely somebody that wants.
We're getting the.
It's not, it wasn't those,
Okay, thank you.
Africanized bees.
Melanie, that was forgetting Melanie. Being Val meeting, I think.
Yes.
District clerk, I noticed that you're not on the list for going over your budget.
What you got?
You weren't getting anything anyway.
But
That's why they come in here and ask you for help.
Say that, didn't want anything?
We should tell people.
well, I just, while we got the conversation started, I was just questioning about the postage.
You seen that?
18,000 and you haven't spent but 5,000 this year.
It's the,
Not even.
This is a
that's what.
PowerPoint.
I mean, I have to.
Right,
I can't tell what the number.
okay.
There's nothing due, but it's set on the calendars for 2 trees a month. So.
All right, well,
And then.
we'll revisit.
It's 4,700.
Yeah,
We keep going. That's. $12.74 right now.
okay.
And then
Yeah, this is interesting here.
now, we have saved a lot of money.
I'll get with you on it.
94 million in 2015.
I'm on fine. He's trying to get on.
Section 9, Article 8, money can only be used for maintenance.
I don't know who sent him the link.
Yeah, I think I take that out, what was the size of the stuff? With the floats. There's an inside.
I get it out of meeting.
Who sent you the link?
God, I keep me off.
I got
And then
a,
Rusty started the meeting, so.
I got a link. I got a link this morning.
So the link Rusty sent you, this is the link.
Okay.
I don't know toward that should have. I'll get Rusty.
It's pretty much done.
Yeah, it's better. Well,
Interesting.
so I don't know that I have, your email address.
Well, see, I think we're you.
Bobby.
I got it right here.
Mr. Phillips. I sent an email back to that Rocky Range subdivision, 2000. Told them that we were weren't gonna plan any new meetings until they sent us a new plat and final to subdivision. And specifically the 25-foot setback on property lines. Yeah, because right now they're lots of 40 feet wide, 25 feet from each one. They always 10 foot on each one. They can't build anything. And if they make an 80-foot wide lot, they only have room for a 30-foot wide house. So.
All right, did you check your email? I forwarded the link that I used to get on.
Yeah. It's not going to pencil, as Alexander said. It's not going to pencil. But that's what they are. Kaufman land is also included in that.
Judge, you send us just to pick.
That will cost extra.
Is that the kind of?
Bobby will give you some money, give you lunch.
It had to come out of the heart, there's not much there.
It's gonna be a thin lunch.
Yeah.
Couple glasses of water out of the fountain.
Yeah.
Did he get the email?
Jessica did, he has not.
All right. I will send it again in the event that I,
Okay, that's solid. There.
So that's less than a quarter of an acre. Where at?
I can.
This is the plan. I thought it was that two.
Recording in progress.
You know, but it's also a thought about. We're currently. It's another argument. Is it? You should have to. You can pay that. You get mine. You get mine.
is he gonna share his screen?
And you share your screen. What else?
So you did 2.2%.
Let's say we get somewhere.
Yours, that's fun. I just tried It's not showing.
Just go put your face back on there.
You, launch that, I think it's gonna be fun. To the share, carry it on. Here, one second. Yeah, that's good.
So, yeah. I'm new to your.
All right, looks like you're ready.
Okay.
All right. We'll call this meeting to order now that we got all our technical difficulties resolved and, Fernando, do you want to introduce yourself and you've got the floor.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Commissioners, for the invite and especially Jessica and everybody in attendance. I'm Bernardo Ortegon, the account manager for Van Zandt County and surrounding counties for your retirement system, TCBRS. The invite, if I understood correctly, was to kind of review a little bit of the history of Van Zandt County's benefits, providing to the employees, looking at potentially a match, and then maybe looking at some proposed comparisons. If there is going to be a proposed increase, how would that impact the plan? Starting with the employer history, we can see that basically 2026 all the way down to 1992. Van Zandt County's been at a 7, starting from left to right on the employer history. 7% on the employee payroll. So we are a savings-based benefit. Each payroll period, your employees are contributing to their own account throughout the course of their careers, 7% of payroll. At the end, when in a pension system, unlike a 401k, the match comes in at the very end. So when somebody's vested and then eligible to retire, and then they choose to retire, that's when the match from the county comes in. Currently, the match is $1.75 for every dollar contributed. So what happens is when somebody's about to retire, they're putting in their submitting their retirement application with TCDRS, all those years of payroll deductions plus 7% interest that they've earned on their employee account gets at this point matched from the county $1.75 for each dollar they have on their account. And then that gets converted into a lifetime benefit. If we focus to the right of the page, this is where Van Zandt County is how you're funding those benefits to your employees. The last year, the rate for this year is 7.40%. The percent indicates a percent of annualized payroll. So 2026, 7.40 on the total contribution rate. And then for 2027, each year we provide counties and districts what the rate's going to look like for next year, either by late April or May on the employer portal, and it's part of your package. So that in budget workshops, commissioner courts meetings and so forth, a decision could be made based on workforce needs and based on budget. Should anything change with the plan? Should the matching increase? Should vesting decrease? Those type of scenarios. And then through the employer portal, what's called a plan customizer, we can project the impact and give commissioners court budget workshops. What's the impact of a proposed change? So for 2027, the rate dropped to 7.34% of payroll. And what we project payroll to be is a little bit north of 13 million. Because we receive 7% of each payroll, we have what the payroll was for 2025. But now we can project hopefully payroll growth. So for 2027 projected payroll for where the members come from, the projected payroll is just a little bit north of 13 million.
And what does 7.4 represent?
7.4% is Van Zandt County's contribution each payroll period to your employer account, the Van Zandt County, the BCDRS employer account. So 7.4 of payroll. Each payroll period, your employees are contributing to their own account. Van Zandt County is contributing to your TCDRS account.
So they're contributing 7% and the county is contributing 7.4%.
In 2026, correct. 2027 projected to drop a little bit to 7.34.
And what is what are you basing your projections for the necessity to drop that amount to 7.34?
On your packet, Commissioner and Judge, you have what's called the plan assessment. This is what we provide counties late April, May, so that you can get an assessment as to what we look at. Because with the annual plan cycle, every December 31st, our independent actuarial consultants take a snapshot of each county, each district, and then they do a demographic study. How did your workforce behave compared to the actuarial projections? In terms of demographics, the key one is how many people came in, how many people left, and those that left, how many withdrew their account? Because when somebody withdraws their account and closes it to zero, all those years or payroll periods of employer match from Van Zandt County does stay with the county. So
They only get their contributions.
They only get their contributions and any interest that it would have earned, correct? So terminations, payroll growth, and then since Van Zandt County's been with us for decades, we also look at retirees in terms of actuarial projections for life expectancy and so forth. So when we come out with the assessment, the top portion is the top portion are the benefits that you're providing, and at the middle to the bottom is how those are being funded. The beauty with TCDRS and a partnership with our counties is that this is done annually. It's not done every 4 years, every 10 years. This is done annually so that we can get a better idea as to how those actuarial projections are behaving compared to what's actually occurring inside your workforce.
So you're determining the 7.34%, you're determining what you anticipate our contribution should be in order to fund it for the future.
Absolutely.
So it basically is the same as an escrow account, you know, a mortgage company does with an escrow account. Are we collecting enough to pay the insurance and taxes for next year, and there's an adjustment related to that. So I mean, I guess for a lot of folks that are listening, that would be the closest similarity to what you're doing here on the retirement program.
Absolutely. And it's also projected, Commissioner, so that the liabilities, the current liabilities are paid down over 20 years so that a liability just means a present value of a future benefit that's promised as a lifetime benefit. It's amortized over 20 years so that the next generation of workforce is not paying for this generation's workforce. They're saving for their retirement. Van Zandt County is saving each and every payroll period for retirement.
So the 7% that the employees are contributing, it also receives interest.
Correct. For the employees, it is a state statute of 7%, actually. The employer account, this is where it's a partnership, the investment risk is shared and the demographics are shared between TCDRS and the county.
Mm-hmm.
So the projection is an annualized return on the employer account of 7.5. And we've been able to hit that over the last 30 years with our diversified portfolio. But it's calculated every year because I'm 55, so I started in financial services in 99. We all remember maybe the tech bomb, the tech.com bomb, and then also the 08 financial crisis. But For employees, the answer is absolutely. They are by state statute, their account is 7% independent of market. With the employer account, it's a shared risk with TCDRS. Um, I also have on your printout the proposals, if I understood correctly. Two proposals. What would happen if there is a increase to 200% on the match? Future only. Future only means 2026 and any prior deposit that was made by the employee is gonna get matched at the current level. 175%. And then 200%. If it's a proposal for 2027, that would be deposits for 2027 going forward. Counties do have the ability to say, we're gonna do this future only. Or we're gonna incorporate all the way going back to all the deposits made prior to 2027. The proposal,
But if we
initially,
did it going back, the county's gonna be liable for the for the majority or all of, or all of.
25 cents.
if, because the choice is future only or past and future. So future only, it's only 2027 going forward. Past and future increased costs to the counties because you are going back the additional 25% to all those employee deposits that were initially matched at 175. I'll bring that up on the screen. Stop sharing. And the baseline we typically run is future only because that is the lower cost, but know that we can definitely run a past and future for comparison.
But we don't have a past and future. We have future only on our.
You have future only, all the way back. The current benefit level matching is been since 1992.
The 175
To the 175.
was 92. And when did this plan start?
68.
Okay. Van Zandt was one of the initial counties because we were created by the legislature in 67. So Van Zandt came in right away. So it's been around 68. I believe the history goes all the way back then.
Yeah.
To 68.
And it's been at 175 for how long?
92.
92. So let me do this. Share this screen.
It's 210% back in the 80s. Crazy.
This would be a quick side-by-side comparison from the two numbers that I received was what if a match was increased to 200% future only and 225 future only. And this sheet kind of gives you an idea, Judge and Commissioners, what it looks like for 2027. And then behind it, you have the full comparisons as to what it would look like for the future years also. So starting with the one pager at the top, the baseline on the left is the current plan as if no changes were to occur, keeping it at 175. As we look at the middle column, that would be what if the match was increased 200% future only, keeping everything else the same. As we start getting to the section called retirement plan funding, now you can see the difference between the row that's labeled required rate is the 7.34% that we have as our baseline. If it's a 200% match feature only, it would increase to 8.56%, or a difference of 122 basis points. And then the 225 would be 978, or a difference of 244 basis points. And again, percentage is a percent of annualized payroll.
So unfunded under 175, it says unfunded actuarial liability at 2.3 million, or it's 95% funded. How is that shortfall made up? What do we do to, should we, is there a necessity to cover that unfunded portion?
Great question. Let me start off with a baseline. So rating agencies that look at pension systems, they consider a healthy funded ratio, healthy, starting at 80 to 85. And here's the reason. So simply by paying the required rate, TCDRS does a gradual glide up to 100% for each employer. So just simply by paying the required rate, you're gliding up to 100%. Now, 100% funded ratio would also mean you would take a new hire out of 10 new hires. The ones that are projected to retire, 100% funded means we want to fund their retirement now at the present value. Typically, counties and districts are comfortable, not a TCDRS recommendation, but they're typically comfortable between like 85, 90, 95% funded. We see the smaller districts, like for example, a small 911 district that's in my region, 2 employees. Their board is like, we just want to make sure they're 100% funded because the cost is really low for 2 employees. With the districts, we hardly see districts go to 100 because you're wanting to take present value money for even a new hire that comes in that's projected to retire.
I guess because in theory, your new hires, you contemplate that you're always going to have new hires, and those new hires are going to contribute to the system. And those folks that begin to take their retirement, they're taking a smaller portion than those new hires are contributing back. And so it's self-perpetuating.
Exactly. Van Zandt has been at over 90% funded since 2015, so very healthy. That would be a decision for commissioners court budget workshops to decide, do we really want to use
Well,
resources?
I don't think anybody's contemplating making a $2.5 million deposit.
Right.
I think we're done.
So know that even though there's that 5%,
that answers it. That's good. I appreciate that.
You are healthy funded right now. So that's really, if you look at the 2027 year, and you look at the full comparisons, and I'll be glad to bring them up. That's the concept. It's workforce needs, desires versus budget. Is there the budget to increase 122 basis points on the annualized payroll to increase 200% feature only?
What's 122 basis points in non-monopoly money, in real money?
That would be 122% out of like 13 million. So do you want me to? So 1%, right?
Yeah, 1%. Yeah. Got
So
it.
yeah.
Like 145,000.
Exactly.
And go for man.
And then that would be for additional years going forward, because now counties and districts do have the ability to say, we raised it, we're in lean years in the future, we can lower the matching. Once you raise, you can lower.
Like they did in the 80s.
Right. Yeah,
Went from 210% to 175.
absolutely. Since in 92.
So in order to determine what this actual cost increase would be, so we would take our annualized salary or annualized payroll and multiply it by the 7.34% to get what we currently pay. And then multiply it by the 8.56% to see what it would be. And take the difference of that to give us the increase. Correct?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And you can also do that with taking the difference in the liability increase.
Yeah,
but
1.3.
that's the concept, Judge. It's-
Okay.
Yeah,
So you're looking at 200,
350,000.
350,000.
You go up a quarter
Go up to
Go up
200%.
2%. That would be everything.
from 175 to 2.
Yeah.
And
How
then
much is it?
you have the future years as a full comparison, but that's the concept to contemplate for 2027.
You're saying to get the difference, you would subtract unfunded at 175 from unfunded at 200, but that's if you're going to keep that's if you're going to keep your fund ratio constant, right?
The funded ratio would drop down from
Just a little bit, yeah.
95 to 90, correct.
So in theory, you could drop the funding ratio a little bit more so that it's not quite as painful for the county in the initial year.
The concept, Commissioner, would be that the required rate is what would be required from Van Zandt County. So the required rate would be the 8.56. Yeah.
He's talking about the funded ratio though.
Right, it would drop to 94.2.
Yeah, but is it not possible to reduce the funded ratio,
Like
92%, 0.5% or 0.75%?
Good question. Because so in that case, Van Zandt would be saying, can we take money out of our account? I don't believe that's possible. To where that would be the required rate.
So that the funding ratio then is only impacted by those people by employee actions. Can't be adjusted based on the county's needs. It's only adjusted based on what happens in our employment market.
Or side of
The demographics, correct. Now, on the flip side, some employee or employers that have lower funded ratios do put in additional contributions ad hoc to increase their funded ratio, but to decrease it beyond the required rate, I don't believe it's a possibility.
And what did you say the required rate is?
At the 200% match feature only, it would be 8.56.
Okay, I see it.
Or a difference of 1.22% of annualized payroll.
It'd be funding 94% of it, 94.2% of it.
So, well, once we get our salary worksheet completed with all the changes, then we can easily change these percentages to see what that cost would be based on our current payroll.
Absolutely.
So that's a couple weeks away.
Is it Is it an option? You know, we put in 7% and then you get the employer match. Can we put in more without the match? Or do we?
As an employee, you mean?
As an employee, yes.
Great question. Not to this account. We would, for example, I used to work in private industry, we would recommend, I'm not sure if the county participates in the optional 457. Deferred compensation plan, if not, like individual IRAs, but.
We do have that banking.
Employees, 7% is the max in our system.
And is this 7% pre-tax?
It is pre-tax, 100%, yeah. And then let me bring up, do you want me to bring up a full comparison to kind of see the future years? Or what would be more, what would help more? Or another scenario, I don't.
Oh, no, feel free to just proceed on.
And, okay, so again, that would be the concept for the upcoming. Is this in the budget between, it's always a balance, right? In my region, for example, 60 counties add the districts over 200, and it's that annual workforce needs versus budget. So.
Can you
Health-
explain
yeah.
to us,
Yes.
to the employees, how this will benefit them?
To the employees, absolutely.
Yeah, how is it going to benefit them?
Absolutely. Because employees are saving for their retirement throughout each payroll period.
Right, 7% out of their.
7%, absolutely. At the end, and by the way, at the employee account balance, when I was on the employee education side, coming from private industry and financial services, I used to say, this is absolutely fabulous, and we can tell you by state statute, you are guaranteed 7% without worrying about market noise. So that 7%, in addition to your deposits, keeps growing and growing and growing. And then at the end, when you need the money the most, that's when the match comes in from the county. And then it gets converted into a benefit that you cannot outlive, which is absolutely amazing. Because in private industry, independent of the wealth or lack of wealth, the concept was always top two concerns. Health, right? Health insurance. The second one, financial. Do I have enough? Am I gonna be living and my resources run out? And just have to go back to Social Security. In the 20+ years of being in private industry, have I met individuals where the resources run out and went to Social Security only and had to change housing and so forth? And here, the county, by being an employee of the county is saying, don't worry about that. We're gonna give you peace of mind that you're depositing money into your account every payroll period. Van Zandt County is depositing money on your behalf for your retirement each payroll period. There are no payment holidays. Each payroll period, they have to. Each employer has to. And then at the end, that money's gonna be there because you've been saving and Van Zandt County's been saving. And then it gets converted into a lifetime benefit. And when I was employee education seminars, I would say, pop quiz, what does lifetime mean? And they're like, we cannot outlive it. Absolutely. So you get a lifetime pension by the county administered through TCUS.
So
amazing.
if you have an employee that doesn't retire, but just leaves the system and goes back to private industry, their money will stay in there and continue to increase 7%.
Yes,
And when they do reach retirement age, whatever that amount may be, it may be $50, whatever the case may be. Now anticipate that it's higher than that, but whatever your account balance is for your contributions plus the interest will be paid out based on your tables at their retirement. Is that correct?
if they are vested and eligible to retire.
If they're not vested,
If they're not vested,
then you're cutting them a lump sum check at the end of their. But
there's no match.
so there's no match. So if somebody stays with the county for and for their 8 years, because vesting is 8 years, right?
Correct.
And then at that point that they've been with the county for 8 years, now their interest continues, and then they can get their retirement at their when they retire
With the match. Right.
with the match. So if they're working here and then they go to another county that's in your system, do they transfer those, or what happens?
Great question, Commissioner. Only the service time transfers. The monies are always separate because each employer has different benefit levels, different match. So for example, I used to work at the Bear Appraisal District, which was TCDRS for 5 years. That account is separate from my TCDRS account.
But that's y'all's administration. That's not really a concern of the employees, right? Their only concern is what's the match.
So if you, I think what he's asking, say we're in Van Zandt County, say you're here 8 years and you've got your match, you're fully retired. Well, I want to go over to Smith County, totally different. You're starting from scratch again.
The account balance at Smith County was started 0. Yeah, absolutely.
But your time, you will be vested.
The time goes
Immediately.
over.
Time transfers, but not the
Yeah,
money.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because Smith County could be on 225 and we're on 175, so it would be a different account.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yep. When I first started with TCDRS, we had a colleague that came in, teacher retirement system, which is another system that we recognize. So he came in retired from TRS. Basically, he showed up with TCDRS, vested and eligible to retire, but with a 0 balance.
So, if we have an employee that is vested, and he passes away, you're cutting a lump sum check for their contributions, the county's contributions, and their interest to their family, to their estate.
The answer there, Commissioner, would be depends on the TCDRS service time. Because the first milestone an employee receives is only at 4 years of service time. TCDRS specific, not from military or anything else. So prior to 4 years, new hire, work nowhere else, or maybe private industry, new hire prior to 4 years. Correct. It's a lump sum to the beneficiary. Their account balance, their payroll deductions plus interest. Now, 4 years, there's a milestone called survivor benefit. And at that point, the beneficiary does have an election to make. Receive the lump sum. That's it. The employee never got the match. The beneficiary never got the match. However, at the 4-year mark or later, the employee passes away. The beneficiary could say, they never got the match. I do want the match. So their final account, the deceased employee's final account balance will be matched at the current matching level by the county. And it's going to be now converted into a lifetime benefit for that beneficiary. So they do have a choice to make that.
After 4 years.
After 4 years.
And is there any additional change that occurs when they reach 8 years?
Not to the survivor benefit, but now the employee is vested. Which, by the way, it's huge. If somebody leaves and they do have 4 years, they carry, if they leave their account open, they carry that survivor benefit with them.
Okay.
Great question.
But until they retire, somebody's account's not going to reflect that employer contribution. It may be on a separate line, but they're not entitled to it until it's vested at 8 years.
Correct. And then it's not available until retirement, so.
Right.
We do mention to employees when I was on that side, run those estimates because then you can see what that future looks like. For example, somebody contemplating leaving, run an estimate and go, are you really willing to give up this amount of money that the county is willing to provide for them? Yeah.
But we have lost people over this last year that have gone to another county with a higher match.
And of course, the more money you make, the more it's being deposited as you retire.
I'll remember that at budget time.
Yeah. I've been here 24 years and living on a.
Only,
Can you put it to retirement?
only 24.
Only
So
24.
are you vested?
I'm vested. Barely.
Barely?
Barely.
So, and mention to Jennifer, if there's a follow-up. This is part of our region, if there's a follow-up, be happy to come back and.
How many counties do you work with here in this area?
This area, northeast, pretty much. Out of the 60, that's the northeast. I think there's 20 counties.
What would you say is the predominant match in those 20 counties?
200 is very common. 200, absolutely.
How many are at 175?
Plus.
One.
You're excused. You're excused.
I can send because that's a report I can run, Commissioner. I can send it
That would be interesting to help us.
to do a
decision.
comparison, absolutely.
See what.
Do you have Kaufman? Do you have Kaufman County?
I'm still learning the reading, where's Kaufman?
Just 25 plus.
Then this, yes.
Cause I was talking to an employee over there. Of course, they're at 225. But their new cars are at 150. Is that common? I mean,
I do have a report of all the counties, but, if you have specific counties in particular, because I do have, when we go to conferences, my commissioners' course meetings, or conferences, Hoffman.
that's how long they were grandfathered in, and then, I don't know, and then when the new tires started, they don't put in.
You have to go up in 25% increments.
So Kaufman is at 200, because new hire cannot be.
Lower than that.
Oh, is it 200?
Do we have to go up in increments of 25% or can it be less or more?
It can be 5.
Okay.
So if we embarked on a 5% per year to make it more palatable on our budget, we could do something like that.
Absolutely, and that's what the beauty of having an annual review, instead of every 4 years, every 5 or every 10, absolutely.
All right. Any additional questions? Thank you so much.
Thank
for your
you.
presentation.
Yeah, I'd like to see that. I'd like to see a comparison of the counties that are around.
Of course.
Van Zandt. That'd be.
I'd like to see a comparison of counties that are close to our population and. I mean, I don't think we can compare ourselves to Kaufman County or even Smith County.
I am interested to know about those surrounding
Sure,
counties
yeah.
just for our own.
No, I'm just expressing my opinion, you know, but I do think it's good to know.
Well, then I can say.
Conversation.
How long for they, leave their money in that?
Yeah, okay.
technically until.
I just
when the IRS kind of
apologize.
sunset in the early seventies, you have to start taking it.
So they can read it in there, or.
Leave it as absolute.
I don't even know what crannies are.
Thank you for your time. Thank you for the advice.
I'll get a few.
Yeah.
It looks like we get good growth this long. a little bit.
Well, add some positive.
Hmm.
Add some positive action. Of course, it will slow the prices.
Mhm.
With all the huge companies.
All right, we'll take a 5 minute break and at 10 o'clock, we will resume with the fire marshal.
We make more. This more, I'm gonna be like Cliff. I'm gonna be like Cliff.
Just blend in just any old time, but.
Heck, Brandon didn't even show up.
What?
We're not talking about you. No, the Brandon.
Let me guess, you mentioned just the ones we see out here.
For change colors, depending on what I'm doing.
Yours doesn't want to know the one huge spot. I've never I want a 10, and they didn't do that. You go back.
I'll agree with you all.
Well, they. We're not, oh, here.
I think.
This morning. Oh, but then the church.
I get that. But I was talking about always being key over to that, there's money.
That's why we have pronouns just to be.
Just ready to go.
You mean you got?
Thank you.
I'll say the engine through the.
Thank you so much for your time. Yeah. Thanks. You go now.
I don't think we go. As we follow.
Yes.
Here now.
That's safe, sir. You back on, you put it in the account.
And so you're.
You do it for years.
Thank you for your
Thank you
suggestion.
very much, huh?
That's it.
This is what we do. Of course, I know. I think yours. You know, something. We got 2 months.
And the voter, people need to shoot that, whatever, house meeting. However, they get years, they're just shooting out there. So right back. Yes, actually, and have the things remains the banks and not so we can because my is in my son pencils, it shows we receive different than counties. Because it shows listening times and the time to check for how it all is going. Check. But my mom has anything. Is it not that? Even or like it's something that somebody was
Find inspections, find facilitations. Things like that, but it's not, wrong, it's gonna read in the list. It's all small, shouldn't that be on you have to kill all that.
You hold on to your, no trust you.
Yes.
It happens.
No.
You missed, huh?
I just.
Sheriff in here.
That's it.
No,
Oh, it's his day.
yeah, I suspect he's gonna ask for money or something.
Don't need to get this. Honestly, I was very that because. Not realizing. Conversation. I think.
The judge, Scott, if they feel support is that. I'm saying it's a difference about that.
I think this is.
Oh, you're.
Flip flop. I think I'm too.
It's fine. He's supposed to be over here and
Yes, I was. Not looking for you over there, so, all right, you ready?
Yes, sir. So a lot of my numbers stayed the same from last year. I'll just kind of go line by line. Office supplies was 3,000. Sorry. Fuel and lubricants, 15. I added last year, I think it was just called tools, but I put tools and equipment, and that's because I use both tools. They look like paint cans and shovels and stuff like that to collect evidence, but I also have equipment such as dosimeters, noise meter readings that I kind of would classify more as equipment than tools. That's what I would have bought it on in previous years, but I just wanted to be a little bit more transparent on what it was actually being used for. So when you see that one highlighted, that's why it's highlighted. Autopsy and forensic science, I actually put $0 in there. I've never had to pay for an autopsy or forensic science yet. I've had those before. So it seems like it's maybe coming out of the JP's budget, not really sure. So I didn't want to.
It's a county, but it's JP's.
Yeah, whoever's line item it was in. So I actually took that out. Training and certification, 5,000. Repair and maintenance of vehicles, 15. I took off office equipment rental, miscellaneous and contract services. There was another contract services. And then some of the bigger things, the biggest one is an equipment purchase. I put in for a Tahoe for myself. And then in which is not on here, I just sent the request. What I'm requesting is an environmental services supervisor. That would be a new position, and then 2 part-time deputy fire marshals. So my thinking behind that was on the fire marshal side, if I could just wave my magic wand, I'd rather have a full-time deputy fire marshal, but when I had that opening last time, I just didn't get any qualified applicants. And even when you do, just because of the pay, we're going to do enough. We're going to continue doing what we're doing. Where you get them trained up, and we're ready to let them go off and spread their wings and fly. The only bad thing is they go spread their wings and fly in another county. So we have a lot of really good firefighters in Van Zandt County, from Dallas, Garland, lots of places, and every fireman has a side job. So been talking to a couple of them that have their inspector and investigation certification, and I think that we could do a really good job if I was able to get 2 part-time deputy fire marshals. That saves us a lot on the expenses of hiring an actual full-time person, like retirement and all that kind of good stuff. And then that would lessen 1 vehicle, because I would just keep that 2015 Tahoe that I have, since they wouldn't be driving it that much. And then I didn't know, going to get with the treasurer or the auditor, if with part-time personnel, let's say that 2015 that has 170,000 miles on it, let's say that it breaks down, can they do mileage reimbursement? And that's just a question that I have asked. So I was trying to figure a way to get the people that I need, but also be kind of creative and keeping the numbers as low as I possibly could. So when you see on there, if it's yellow on the left, I just changed the name of that line item to where, so for example, on training and certifications, my Texas Commission on Fire Protection certifications that I have in my deputy fire marshal I'm training up right now, those have to be renewed annually. My emergency medical technician and my TCOL stuff has to be done every 2 years, the training part of it. So instead of just training, I put training and certifications, just again to be a little bit more transparent, so that when those invoices come through, it makes a little bit more sense.
Okay, explain the postage.
Yeah, so that is going up because, again, a lot of this is dependent on like what gets approved. So we've always been talking about the lack of the enforcement arm, and so we're starting to get some enforcement out there. And especially if I get the supervisor's position and the deputy fire marshal positions, we can really get into the enforcement part. And so the reason we're going to be doing postage is the first, we'll go region by region, and anybody that has an overdue maintenance contract, anybody that's overdue for their inspections, anything like that, they will get a certified letter from the county saying, hey, this is the problem, respond to us by this date. And I think that's been done in the past. The only problem was in the past is they put a deadline on there, and then people went past the deadline and nothing ever happened. So we just trained them that if they just threw the letter away, then nothing ever really happened. But again, if we get the people that I'm requesting, then we can do it that way, to where we first send out letters. If they don't respond by that day, the next thing that happens is they get a knock on the door. So that's why that would be going up.
Okay. And fuel and lubricants up to 15,000.
Yeah, so right now, if you look, I had to move 5,000. So this year that we're in right now, we had 15 in fuel and lubricants. I took 5 out of that to put in repair and maintenance of vehicles. But you can see with the rise in gas prices, as of the date of this, posting of this, we'd already spent $9,173. So for the rest of the year,
No, that was the prior year.
okay,
You spent $4,359 this year, year to date.
which number is that? Oh, the 4359?
Yes, that's year
Okay,
to date.
that was my mistake then.
So.
So yeah, that could, but again, with, that would be the inclusion of one more new gas card, so it would need to go up a little bit from 10,000. And I'd have to do the math on what we're spending per month.
Okay. Why don't you break down the current employment situation? What positions do you currently have employed? Because we added 3 last year, correct?
We added, 2 last year. So we have as you walk in the door, we have a clerk,
Okay,
and then we have a chief deputy clerk. And then I have 2 environmental specialists, 1 deputy fire marshal, that he's not certified in anything yet, I'm still working on that part, and then myself.
okay.
On the fuel,
Yes, sir.
yeah, I mean, this, I guess, you go with the sheriffs too.
Yeah.
Would it make more sense and maybe save us some money if y'all operated like Road and Bridge, where we get a contract at the beginning of the year, like with Duco, and y'all have a 500-gallon tank or whatever out there, and it gets filled, and before every shift, fill up your vehicle.
Mhm.
That way we're not going to a gas station and we're locked on a price and we don't have to worry about these price fluctuations.
Yeah, I would love to hear what the sheriff's input in it. I think the best place for that, I love having the fuel tank at the station. And so I think the best place for it would be at the sheriff's department. And then you just have you have a keypad just like everything else, but like you said, now that you're buying in bulk, it does, I think, help save on that money. So yeah, I would
And
be
it's a
all for
fixed
it.
expenditure. You
Yeah,
know what?
I don't know that we're locked in on that price.
No, we're not.
You're locked, from what I understand, you're locked in on that price. Now, if it goes up, like Duco is gonna,
Right.
they
It goes
can
up.
come to court and say, hey, we need to raise it.
It's a
Yeah,
number of
percentage.
cents above
Right.
of prime level.
Like.
So it fluctuates with the
It
market.
fluctuates, yeah.
But theoretically, it's gonna be less than
But
you.
if you use it, yeah, if you use it does change, just
Yes,
like
sir.
everything else. But if you use that
Well,
quantity,
some.
it's going to save you money. And they will usually do, if you put it out for bid, because I have before, they will usually do the cost savings for them. If you send them like your annual fuel usage report, they can go off, what they were charging at that time, and they can say, okay, in 2023 would have saved you this much, in 24 would have saved you this much. So every year they could tell you like how much they would have saved you had you been with them. So, that'd be up to the sheriff, because it would be at his place. We just don't have the room at our place. Plus, we may be moving buildings, so it'd have to be put in a place that is not going to change.
I personally prefer that we have the credit card system as it is from an accounting maintenance standpoint.
Yeah.
Because having a fuel tank can be subject to fraud or misuse. So whereas a credit card system, is pretty bulletproof, I think.
Didn't you just use your credit card on some other vehicle that?
And I think they both have their.
You could.
They both.
Yes, you could.
They both have the potential to be done, and it just depends on the system that you put, like I was saying. Some of them are just flip the thing, anybody could drive up and get it, but some of them you have to put in just like I do with my credit card, I have to put the odometer and I have to put my PIN number on there.
Like at our barn, I mean, you could say the same thing about our barns. I mean, it could be subject to fraud. But we got cameras.
Yeah, that's
what I was gonna.
The sheriff stops and that's cameras.
Say Scott's not doing anything. He could put cameras up always. Yeah.
If the sheriff didn't want that in his yard, where else would we put it?
So I was fixing to say, I don't think I'd want to have to.
How do you-
share with the.
How do you feel about that?
Precinct.
So, we've discussed in the past, and I think that
Having a gas tank, it would be great.
I'm talking about his gas tank in your yard.
But the problem I had though was, the county's so big and,
Right, I get it.
the deputies, if they have to come all the way back to the center of the county to get gas, that could be 40 miles.
Well, I don't think that should be the only place.
Sure.
I think they should have, say if they're in Edom, and they're out, we've got to fluctuate, but I think the first thing we got to do is it cost effective, which I don't know if it is or not yet. The numbers together, but it's not yet.
Up front, you're gonna spend a little getting tanks.
I'm sorry, there's a car drive by, was that?
Up front, you're gonna spend the tank money and set up
Well, if we
pumps.
go to gas guns, it's about that horse and
Yeah, they wouldn't for me. I had to buy them.
Years ago when we had a tank.
Sure, probably more struck than you though.
We had it out of month. Like 6 months, maybe. There.
We did that during tornadoes.
Maybe needs to give us.
And that,
But I also believe that if we had one centralized system that was for all the departments, for example, your guys could come to precinct 2 and use the system over there, and it would be charged based on an audit trail for the precincts, and then you wouldn't have to come back to a centralized location.
Like Kevin said, there's a system that keypads, we push them through ID number like we do now, like all, and it logs it that way, and you can take those gallons to the sheriff's office, gallons to the fire marshal's office, and wherever we're at, it's 1, 2, 3, or 4.
And if you had cameras by these, you could marry the time of, that's punched in on the keypad, the gallons, and what vehicle was up there. I mean, you could really get a good idea.
Yeah, I don't want them in my yard.
We already get that, that's who we get access.
And you would have to go to a metering system on your tanks.
Credit card.
I mean, you talk about cost savings, and I agree with you, right? But sometimes the logistics is,
The accounting,
if you're gonna save,
yeah, if you're gonna save $1,000, I get it, but if it could be $15,000, then maybe something to look into.
I agree, but if it's, choose a number of thousand, if you're only gonna save $1,000 throughout the year, that's less than $100 a month, it's not worth it.
Right.
To have to keep all the keys and, and I'm just sitting in front of my problem, let's just say, Bobby says, hey, I got 2 flat tires. Well, who has keys to my yard? Let's review the cameras, let's do this, let's do that. It's just like, to me, I just feel like if the savings is gonna be minimal.
Yeah, it's gotta be cost effective.
That's my answer.
Sorry,
So to answer your question, yes, I'm all for anything that saves money.
I would imagine that system, to put those systems in every one of those yards would be pretty expensive.
Yeah.
Initially.
There's initial,
so
there is,
with your current staff, 2 EV specialists, the 1 deputy fire marshal and a fire marshal, you've got 4 vehicles, right?
2,
You've-
1, 2,
You got the truck,
3,
the Tahoe,
5
you got
vehicles.
5 vehicles, okay? And then,
Oh, that's right.
with, you're asking for 3 more employees, and would a vehicle be required for all 3?
No, just 1, sir.
Just 1? And what, again, go over, you got on the environmental supervisor, you said supervision and performance of environmental services such as DR work, illegal dump, and safety code violations.
Abatement.
Okay, and then 2, when you say part-time deputy fire marshals, and that's how many hours per week?
No more than 30.
Less than 30. So they would not get benefits, correct?
The only thing that they would get is, looking for Jessica, I think, just like with the reserve officers, they would get. They would get retirement, or they would get retirement, was the comp, so there would be some, just not as much as a
Well,
Full time.
full-time employee.
Yeah, insurance is a big cost.
You have 5 now
Mhm.
and you want 3 more?
Yes, sir.
And 2 of those 3 being the part-time or?
2 of those 3 would be a part-time.
okay, and the equipment purchase of 110,000, what is included in that?
So I currently have a 2015 Tahoe with 170,000 on it. It's getting to the point where I'm just having to turn it into a little bit of a money pit. So one of them is for me, a new vehicle, and then one would be pending the approval of the environmental services supervisor would be a vehicle for them.
And how many vehicles do you have now?
5.
So that would move you up to 7?
You have one, not be.
No, the
Well,
Six.
yeah, that's with me, again, that's with me keeping that 2015 Tahoe and basically running it to I was trying to save some money by not getting another vehicle. So that's why I was talking about that 2015 Tahoe would be like, let's just keep it going as long as we can, but with the knowing that eventually it's gonna quit or it's gonna need a new engine or something. But then they would go to the mileage reimbursement part-time actually. For their vehicle. Theoretically.
okay. So what do you anticipate the cost of a replacement Tahoe fully configured to be?
So those are some, I have round numbers right now because until you actually order them, the prices don't stay. So the roundabout number that I have is for a base Tahoe was 55,000. And then for the lights and all that kind of good stuff was 12,000. And then the power supplies that I would need in the rear and the drawer system for my evidence collection and evidence storage was another 10. So I had 55, 65, 75. I had 80 for that.
Okay. And you don't have any electronic equipment included in that,
What do you mean?
such as a radio?
So yeah, I don't. So in theory, what the radio that I have in my vehicle now, wouldn't get put in that vehicle?
You transfer it from the other Tahoe.
Okay. Whatever that, I don't know what that cost would be to
Okay,
transfer
That's
the
not-
videos.
a couple $100.
So you want 2 or 3 more employees?
3.
So technically 2, there would be 3 names, because again, one would be, Sharon Markle would get promoted to environmental services supervisor. And that would open up an environmental specialist position. And then I would have, instead of paying for 1 full-time deputy fire marshal, it was gonna be more cost effective to try to get 2 part-timers that might stay longer and cost the county a little bit less.
Okay, so what do you want these 3 employees to do?
The deputy fire marshals would be fire inspectors, so they would be able to do the inspection side, fire and life safety inspections. They would be able to help me out with that. And they would also be able to do fire cause determinations. So they'd also be able to do arson investigations. So those 2 things, especially and then one of the 3 pillars of the fire marshal's office that we've done, we're just barely scratching the surface on, is public education. Trying to get out there more, go to more events, all that kind of stuff. And it's just been that I've been so busy. There's times that I can't go to things that I'm invited to, not that I don't want to. So through inspections, investigations, and community education, having those people would be a great benefit for that. And then as far as the environmental services supervisor, now that, now that some folks in the county are seeing that illegal dumping, abatement, things of that nature are actually being addressed now, that caused more people to start calling and start reporting stuff. Because what I found is that there was a time that somebody would report an illegal dumping or they would report an abatement issue. And they would call and they would call and they would call and nobody would ever show up. That was 5, 10 years ago, right? I've seen all the way up to 20 years ago. But now that people are actually showing up and we're doing stuff about it, people that had basically just given up on those projects are starting to call and report those things as well. So it's the same thing of, and all my people I'm trying to get them as certified as much as I can. Because that DR certification, the training that I'm sending them to be health investigators through Dr. Daly, nobody really carries those certifications around, so I have to train them up. So it's just doing more and getting more done faster, faster. Being able to take larger groups, because right now I don't like to take on more than what I can see from start to finish. And so I usually have a group of things that I'm moving from start to finish. Once I move that group, I kind of pick up the next group. So this will allow for a more seamless transition and just make us more efficient in that. So
Have you seen more revenue come in since you've done all this?
on the, I'd have to look at my numbers on the OSSF and for sure on the inspections. It's not a ton on inspections because most of your inspections are, $100 to $150 per inspection. It's not a ton. They're not necessarily gonna pay for themselves. I think last year, the new construction is what helps our office the most. So like, we just didn't have a lot of new construction this year. So it kind of goes based on both. So on the, and the county does not get money when we solve illegal dumping and abatement stuff. We just fix that problem that to me, the community deserves. So there's never gonna be an intake of money on that. But the OSSF stuff, we've had a couple run-ins with a couple different contractors. And they're starting to do the right thing now. And so, yeah, that has gone up and it should increase going up because we're just growing. But I can't predict what 1 year from the next as far as that's going to be. That answer your question, sir?
Yes, sir. Any more questions?
And where are you gonna put all them people? Your office gotten bigger or something? Did you add on to your office?
No, if I got all those people, those are what I call good problems to have. Then I start moving desk out and we start basically creating up a command post. In a building that size in the military, I've had 20 people in a room that size running a functional command post. So it can be done. None of us spend a ton of time in our office anyways. One, because it's so small, but we're out in the field a ton. And because we don't have like a conference room and I don't have a place to actually review plans, a lot of times I have to go to the DA's office for that or come up here for that. So we're not in our office a whole lot. So office space is like, to me, it's the least of my worries. That would be a great problem to have.
You put Sharon over there, satellite over there.
I would put Sharon in the corner.
Yeah, put her over there by me.
Andy, where do you have that at?
She wouldn't have to drive as far.
Have what?
The spreadsheet.
Where is it?
Yeah, is it in our computer?
No,
Okay.
it's in the.
And
But
then the only thing I didn't talk about was stuff that I was talking with Scott about. Like there's a program called Inspections 360 that so like what do y'all use? It's not cop sync, what do y'all use?
I'm sorry, I was talking, so,
Southern Software. So they use Southern Software. There's a thing called cop sync. That's where they put all their incident reports on. Everybody, all fire departments have a system.
We don't use cop sync.
I was saying some.
Okay.
Police departments.
Okay.
Fire departments, there's some fire departments that use different systems.
Okay.
I'm just saying that there's different systems out there. Inspections, 360 is a fire marshal centric program that allows us to do our inspections and our investigations on that. We're just not very efficient because we're using Word, Excel, all those kind of good things. So now as I'm building inspections, it starts building our file folder for us and it tracks it cradle to grave. And I have a call on Monday. They wouldn't give me a roundabout number on Monday. So that's the only number that I haven't submitted to Scott as far as IT state. But as soon as I get that number, I'll be giving to him.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Karen, did you have something to say?
I got a lot.
You need to move over.
It's not.
You need to move back. You need to move over to the center of the. It's not your fault. You couldn't move.
Get smacked in the head by the Lord.
Yeah, I'm going to throw that at you.
All right, Sheriff, where do you want to start?
me,
Oh, it's Misty next?
Thanks.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
just he's next.
Randy.
Hopefully we'll have a conservative show up.
You can do that all this, bro.
Good morning.
Don't mind the peanut gallery. I said, don't mind the peanut gallery.
Y'all got peanuts?
Judge, you need to take control of the court.
Y'all got peanuts?
Good you did.
Oh, yeah, later, man.
All right, let me get set.
Long time no see. Yeah. Fixing to go off, whatever it is. Karen.
Even yours does not.
No, mine's just not working today.
Scott.
Yesterday.
Somebody's pacemaker battery needs to be changed.
All right, hold on just a second.
That's messed up.
You can't email that to us, can you?
Do I?
Can you email that to us?
This doesn't work.
What is it? A sticker. I turn you out there in your place.
No,
Keep saying.
my problem is I can't get this screen on both right now, and I try to go here. And this is supposed to be the shared screen, but it doesn't allow me to unshare it or stop sharing because it's not showing it.
Are you still co-host? You should still be co-host.
They give you an error. That's for sure. They should still do it.
Yeah, what's happening is I got. Yeah, I can't get back to it.
Need that all figured out, then email to us.
Yeah.
You can't have talking out here.
See on the screen.
I'm talking out the my protest you want came in.
Well, that's what happens is it's sharing my other screen. Oh, wait, here it is. It's over here. Hold on.
Why's everything gotta be so hard?
Oh, what I was going to do is, this is what I thought was trying to do.
How do we get to that on our computers? Is it possible?
Okay, and now I try to go over here. And do share my screen. And that's the screen I want to share, right? Well, what happens is. Look. Up there, it shares the wrong screen up there. Hold on, so what I gotta do is.
No, see that one.
Let me move it. Back over to my screen here. And then come over here and share it and see if that will work right. So that I get it on both. See, that do what?
Maximum is that.
No, well, I can. Yeah. And that's just it. You know, I can bring it back over here, so that we can get through this. All right, go for it, Misty. Good.
Yeah. Asking for money, not too much, it's not. I followed instructions on my letter from you, Judge, and I did not put anything in the top portion.
Thank you.
Because it is truly up to the court to decide what the court is able to bless us with this next budget season. And I know that you guys will do the very best that you can and make a good decision on that. So with that being said, the only thing that I really changed from last year, then the postage keeps going up. I took some postage out a little bit, but then we get another notice that, it's going up again. So I don't know exactly what's going on with the USPS, but I still think that we'll be okay to cut that by 500 on that line, 311. I think we can skirt that. The other thing that we had talked about adding was uniforms. Many of y'all may come to my office and you see, like, I have a shirt on today, just for example. This is a tax assessor association shirt that I buy at conference. It's a $30 shirt. I know they probably buy it in bulk. It's this brand, it's Sport Tech USA. I was gonna do a little more research on that. I'm not sure if the county has an account with Sport Tech. If it's something that we would get an account with Sport Tech and we order it by bulk, we could get it cheaper. Having a uniform in my office or a t-shirt or something, just when the customers come in, they immediately identify them as working there. They love the citizens love seeing us with our shirts. I'll put a flag on one side and their name on the other. And sometimes we'll do little fun stuff, like I'll have, if they're a lead deputy clerk or assistant deputy or chief deputy, that kind of thing. And then sometimes we'll do some funny stuff like, where's George? And then the other one says, I'm George, that names in our office. That is something that I feel like it is easier for a clerk, especially in the facility that we're in currently. The walls eat your clothes if you walk by. They're beautiful, but they do. When you walk by, those wood walls will just grab your clothes and shred them. We handle license plates which have shredded metal, and then we're crawling on the floor, trying to move, stuff around. So we do dress with nice shirts and jeans, and then tennis shoes or sandals or something. I hope that one day we'll be able to elevate that a little bit, but I feel like having a uniform shirt, they throw that on, nice pair of slacks or jeans, and they look a part of a group. They immediately, the citizens will say, okay, they work here, and they enjoy that. And that's why you'll see that $1,200 uniform line in there. I think that would be a beneficial thing that we can offer the staff members every year.
How do you pay for it now? Like,
So how I pay for it now is through my own pocket. I, like, for Christmas, I think it was a couple of years ago, I ordered long black, they were hooded, long sleeve shirts, and I had their names put on the side. And their title on the back, and then the Zandt County logo on it. And we've gone to class training, and we've all worn it, and we just walk in, everyone's like, who's that? And we just, they love it. And so I bought that as their Christmas gift out of my pocket. Some I bought it for the birthday gifts. I bought it for their 90 days.
So where do you get this done at? Like when you put this on?
We had two projects that we're best friends, and so she does give me a pretty good discount on things, but that doesn't always mean that can stay a discount when the price is going up in the world. And those are t-shirts. You're not these type of shirts. Now she may have an account with this company. I just haven't reached out to her, so I figured we'll get this hashed out first before I make her go to do any work to check prices. But there is local. I would love to keep it local. Keep the local business some local, but she does a really good job for us, and she does it for roughly $20 a shirt. So
I think it does.
25.
I think it does add something to y'all. Like I think what you said yesterday about the elections.
I want to do the best I can in my position to praise my employees, to let them know they're doing a good job, and it makes them happy, and then they don't, as women, we don't have to think about what we're going to put on. We just throw on a shirt and we look like a group and we look great, and it makes them happy. So sometimes we'll do a shirt order, and sometimes the staff member will pay for their own shirt, but most of them I paid for, or I've got them. If I need to go to a conference and who's ever left in charge, I always bring them something back from a conference, from a tax steward. Like this last time, I had two employees that were running things, and I brought them all these cool badges that have, the logo on it, or it'll have the seal of the state of Texas on it. Or I'll bring a binder or something just to show my appreciation for holding the fort down while we're gone. So, but yeah.
So what was your calculation to get to 1,200? How many shirts you're giving in each?
Budget for each staff member is what I decided to go on. What I would like to see, some staff members have more shirts than others because they've been there longer, right? But I would like to see it because the building we're in is pretty drafty at times in the winter. Like right now, our ACs we want to just take the shirts off and wear a tank top right now, shorts, because it's so hot. But in the winter, they wind up putting hoodies on because they're cold. Well, that takes away of actually, looking like we're a team. So I would like to get at least a jacket or some kind of thin sweat, something nice with the logo on it. So I would like one of those for each employee, and then however much money that I have left to do how many other shirts. Because like say, Caitlin, she's been here not as long. She's been back past her 90 days, but so like Joanne's been there 11 years, and I'm in my second term, so she has quite a few more shirts than other staff members do. So I was hoping I could get 3 shirts and maybe a jacket or some kind of sweater. That's what I'm thinking. Start out with.
Very good. And the training, is that just for you and Joanne, or is that other people in your department? Do they have to go out for paid training?
So when I first started, Joanne was already going to one conference in June. I go to 2 a year. I go one in November, which is the Beachy Young, and then I go to the Tackle one in June. And Joanne's always going to that. So then a couple years in, I realized I've got the VIT fund. So Laura is basically the web, she's the dealer clerk also. She wears 2 hats.
She's
So
a
then
dealer?
we started, yes, we have, yeah, we're dealer clerks too. So then I got it.
Kind of dealer.
All dealers.
Auto dealers.
All dealers, all dealers. If you're a dealer, your trailers, campers, cars, all dealers, yeah. Boats,
Not drug dealer. just-
not drug dealers, no,
All
not
right.
drug dealers, yeah, sorry.
Well, I was just wondering, you said dealer.
So, but then it got to where, so the past 3 years, I've actually been able to use the budget that I've been given. And Laura's been going in June. So my chief deputy and my assistant chief deputy has been going to conference with me for the past 3 years. And then, so I will have another one in November, and this year will be the first year that I'm gonna take Joanne. The state has made so many changes in my department. They make changes, then they backpedal changes, then then the changes are gonna start in January, and it's just been a nightmare to try to keep up with. They've implemented new things like web dealer, which is all dealers do not walk in their paperwork anymore. It's all scanned in, we ACH from their accounts now. The fraud, everything has been an issue. We just had this week, we found a title that was washed. We've had cloned vehicles. That have come through, we're dealing with a lot of that, a lot of sifting through things,
The stuff you would have caught when if they brought it in.
stuff we did catch.
Yes,
Yes.
because it's being done electronically, it's.
Well, some things were brought in, not necessarily from dealers, but individuals this week. It's been really, really tough week for us. We've caught several things this week. I don't know if you want to go a little further, or we could have done with the uniform thing, because I wanted to tell you, I've been listening. I was listening yesterday when they were talking about the house, you had mentioned about the housing coming in. And I did get to run some reports out of the system to kind of give you guys an idea. As of 2024, we had in the system, including substations, we did 68,533 transactions through our office. Okay, I'm not talking dollars today. I don't want to put that out here, but transaction wise. And that's in 24.
Okay, does that include dealers? That's all transactions.
This is not the internet that we deal with the internet when they go online.
Right.
This is gonna be transactions in general from Finley, Grantsville, Canton.
In person.
In person.
In person.
68,533. Then we jumped to 25. I blew my mind. I knew we had gotten busier, but I didn't realize. It jumped to 84,165. So that's 15,632 more transactions from 24 to.
How many? 15,000,
Went up to 84,000.
correct.
It went up to 84,000, you say?
84,135. 65.
So right. Yesterday.
That's population.
718.
Today it's 40,000.
Is this based on fiscal year or calendar year?
This is calendar.
Okay.
Yeah, calendar. I know that's different, but that's how I want to pull it out of states. So from January through the end of December. So that'll give you an idea of what we're dealing with. As far as new staff members, again, I'm not asking for a new staff member because there's nowhere to go. There's nowhere to go.
Put them in the fire marshal's office.
There either. See, they're crammed in there. Do we need them? Yes. Are we doing the best we can? Absolutely. Every one of my staff members, when they get there, they're not able to walk around, have a cup of coffee, say, hey, how you doing? 8 o'clock when that door opens, there's people there. When 4:30 hits, we're trying to get them out the door so that we can start cashing out and get out of there for the day. It is nonstop. We do not close for lunch. We rotate our lunches in Canton. The only time that there's lunches if the substation's open, and they use the same hours as the judges do. for their lunches, so. Substations, we'll talk about that in another workshop. So, but for now, we're doing the best we can with what we're given, and I think we're doing one heck of a job, and my staff members are everything, they're awesome. And they're truly servants to the public, they really are.
Awesome.
You're looking like you're gonna be, your transactions are gonna be about what they were last year, maybe a little bit more, probably.
They'll start coming in the holidays, the dealers will sell more, like Fourth of July sales and that kind of stuff, and yeah, it'll still be there for sure. But like I said, that's just one portion of it. We still have so many other things that we deal with on 140, but it's the state systems are not what they should be, so there's a lot of errors that we find, especially on the internet report, that it can take us weeks to figure.
Are their systems staying up now, or
They're staying up.
they're not going down as often?
As much as they used to. Still have times that we're, some that, it's usually AT&T is put a loss. But it's not like what it was several years ago. Yeah.
Well,
We're gonna upgrade.
I never hear any complaints about your office, ever, none, zero.
We're not gonna make everybody happy,
I know.
and you guys know that, you do the best we can, you can go on Google and we're not 5-star, no, but we've gotten some really good, honest reviews here lately, that's what that rating up, so it's been really nice to see.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you guys.
What's the sheriff's department Google rating? Y'all have a lot of 5?
By precinct?
Not rated, right?
Here we go.
Yeah. Y'all don't have a lot of 5. A lot of best people ever.
Thank you, Missy. So Sheriff, which, you want to start with your department, the jail, dispatch, or I guess dispatch is in with the jail, for the sheriff. What do you want to start with? If I can just find my cursor so that I can.
The sheriff. So, unlike Missy, I don't have grand entrance, so that's okay, we'll just sit there. Talking about it. As y'all know, last year, I told y'all I wasn't gonna really ask them, because I didn't know what the need, where the true needs of the sheriff's office was, and that. So this year, I have asked, have asked for some things, and, like Misty said too, I understand that, the budgetary, issues are there for everybody, so I'll just make this pretty quick for y'all. And if you will, I'll just talk about the things that, I increased. Is that okay with y'all?
Mm-hmm.
Is that all right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Give me a moment. If I can figure out my technology issues here. Now that I got the screen right, I got to figure out how to share it. Okay, cursor back over here. All right, there we go.
There you go.
Okay. What we did here on the salaries, I've requested 4 more deputies. One being a CID investigator, one being a sergeant, one being a transport deputy, and then one being a patrol deputy. So those are the main things for that, what I requested. And what I did is, why there's that increase is there. What we did is we did a survey of all about, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13 cities and counties around us, and we took the highest salary and we took it off, and we took the lowest salary and we took it off, and we got an average. So the average for the deputy was $57,201 for all those averages, which leads us negative $5,176, which is a negative 9% under the average. So what I did is I took that 9% average, 9.05. Then I added a 3% cost of living, and that brought me to 12%. So that's where that addition is, right there. So there's that right there. That portion
That's
of it.
across the board, 12%.
Across the board for the sworn officers. Now, I'll go ahead and discuss this part with you. The jail was the same averages from all the if they had jail, because some of those cities don't have jails. Was our jailers are 0.75 above average, 0.75% above, so not quite 1%. So I took that, and we'll discuss that on the jail one too. I took that and added that percentage, the 3% to that as well. And it came out to 2.25%. Dispatch, and again, let's get down there.
What were you comparing it to? What cities?
Let's see here.
That's just for your jailers.
Well, they're different. So for the jailers, we did Wood County, Kaufman County, Rockwall County, Henderson, Smith, Rains, and Hunt.
Okay, what about the deputies?
So the deputies, we did Wood, Kaufman, Rockwall, Henderson, Smith, Hopkins, Rains, Hunt, Grand Saline, Wills Point, Van, Canton, and Edgewood. And then on the dispatch, I'll go throw that in there for you to know that one. On the dispatch, Wood, Kaufman, Rockwall, Henderson, Smith, Rains, and Hunt. So that's how I got those averages. That's how we got those averages on those. So, so that's where that number comes from, adding the 12%. The dispatch portion of it added 4 new dispatchers at the 7. Oh, no, sorry. That'd be 8. I think it was right at 8%. The 5, they were negative 5% under average, and they added the 3 to that, so that came up to that as well. So there's that, and then I'll wait to discuss the jail when we get to the jail.
So 2.25% was for the jail.
For the jail,
Okay.
yes, sir. Yeah, we'll go over that when we get there if you like.
So we're wanting 8, you're saying 8% across the board for your dispatchers?
Yes,
A raise of 8% and 4 new dispatchers.
yes, sir.
Okay. I'm curious, like, so you said, so when you say Grand Saline, is Grand Saline, does Grand Saline pay more than the sheriff's office?
Let me look to see. Okay. No, they don't. They're at 45,000.
The reason I asked that is because I spoke to law enforcement out of Smith County, and he said they were having trouble losing officers to the cities,
Mhm.
which are big, like we were talking about Tyler and Longview. I mean,
We didn't do Tyler. We did, Grants thing was 45,000, Wills Point's 53,100. Van 53,300, Camp PD 58,000. And Edgewood is hourly, so, yes, sir.
and where are your deputies at right now?
They are at 457,491. Yes, sir. So that's where that's at. And then on the part-time employee, I'm sorry, not part-time, the admin staff, the support staff, the ladies, 3% as well, just across the board. So also I have one part-time position. Remember last year, I asked one of those part-time positions to be moved full-time, which has worked out excellent. That's Rebecca in the jail. That's created a huge impact for the jail. And now this year, I want to move my last part-time employee to full-time. It's in records. We have 2 records clerks, one part-time and one full-time. And what I want to do with that is make, transition that one from, records to, warrants. We're overloaded in warrant inputs. Just that whole division needs to be created here. So right now we have, I think, roughly 2.5 people, if you will, doing warrants, helping out, everybody's coming together and doing that. So that would relieve a lot of.
You said another transport deputy, are we transporting a lot more than?
So yes, we are. So, that kind of ties into the jail side and I brought the team here to us together. So if anytime you have any questions for the team, please ask them. Obviously, Nelly and Chief and Brandon here. So, we've had, a lot of prisoners for a while now. A lot of them have to be transported to the hospital. We have a couple in particular that have to go 4 times a week.
We have an inmate that goes dialysis Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturdays. Every week, and he is one that has charges that we cannot, get rid of, so he'll be here. I do have a printout of our calendar from, June or July 2025 all the way up to current. Y'all can look at it. But there's some of these that have multiple runs. That's our calendar, our transport calendar that we put all of our whether it's out of county pickups, medical dialysis. We have started doing district court here at the courthouse now. So I also printed out our dockets. When it's a big docket like this, it requires 2 deputies. So I was requesting a transport officer just to assist with these kind of transports, whether it be to the courthouse or dialysis or hospital runs. I also have that. We have on average probably about, let's see, it looks like 13 for most months, inmates going to the hospital, 13 inmates a month going to the hospital.
And they're not just going there and leaving, they're going there and having to stay. So a lot of times that takes 2 shifts, sometimes 3 shifts.
We're taking to Tyler.
We tried to take them here to Canton, but depending on what their issues are, especially when it's cardiac and stuff like that, they automatically transfer them to Tyler.
So you marry that along with all the other warrant pickups, stuff like that, or when a judge wants or the DA wants an inmate back from TDC or something like that, we got to go pick them up. So there's a bunch of factors. So to answer your question, yes, we are. It's getting more busy. Do I see that dropping off? I don't know. We can't say.
We also utilize on the patrol side too. There's times when we have subjects that are arrested that we take to the jail and we don't actually clear the jail. They have to go to the hospital, whether or not they've been in a car accident, they've been assaulted, or they're just medically not cleared at the jail. When our deputy goes and takes that individual to the hospital, that's gonna pull a deputy off of the street where they're not able to answer a call. So what we do is we utilize our transport staff and call them into the hospital to sit on that subject in custody until they're medically cleared. Because the way the jail standards are, we can't utilize the detention center staff to do that because they're not in the county's custody yet. And that's happening more and more frequently now because the way the way the clearing process is and the way jail standards is they gotta meet the criteria for us to be able to accept them into the jail if they don't get transported out to the hospital. And there's times that we're sitting on them for 8, 10, 12 hours, sometimes 2 days.
Also, I'm sorry, also with housing our inmates at Henderson County, we also, anytime they have court, we have to go over there and pick them up, or if they get bonded out or whatever, we have to go and pick them up and take them back if they're done with court. So there's a lot of back and forth with Henderson County also. We try, if we know they got a jury trial coming up or some kind of court case, we try not to send them over there or bring them back prior to. But we don't always get those dockets that far in advance.
Well, that's one of the things that I wanted to mention was the contract services, and that is the housing in Henderson County. And those costs are going to double with our new agreement, almost double
Yeah.
with our new agreement. So do you think?
So they'll almost double. I don't disagree with you, but that's the facts, but it's still less than the surrounding.
Right. No, I'm surprised it's taken this long.
Yeah.
And
And actually,
so,
Sheriff Hillhouse, he called me and goes, hey, man, I gotta talk to you. So he did, and he's like, man, we haven't, you're the only one that we don't go up on.
wow.
Because I have to do something.
Right.
So and just for the record, he charges his cities within the county to house city inmates.
Mhm.
So, I don't, that's not something that I'm advocating for at all. I'm not doing that. But that's just some facts that are out there because even other counties are feeling some financial pressure and trying to figure out how to make up some of those.
No, they're paying for their jet. So that's what they're doing.
So.
But do you want to adjust? Do you want to add anything to this contract services here? Because you didn't change it.
I
mean, you can get back to me on it if you
which
want
one
to.
is that for? Are you on jail?
I'm on jail.
Oh,
Yes.
I thought we were still on sheriff. Okay.
Well, you started talking about jail. So
Yeah, we did.
So I brought it up.
So,
You're
you're right.
If you want to go back to the sheriff.
Let me switch over to jail. That's fine. We can go back to it. That don't scare me at all.
We're in the jail right now, right?
Yeah.
That's what's on screen.
We're on jail.
On this budget, I'll bring this up. I don't know what we can and cannot do on this. But I think y'all need to look at what we're trying to do as a commissioner's court with what they call the CAD. That can help y'all out on this and learn what that is and try to get public to support it. I'll give you all that advice.
With the
CAD, CAD. I got some brochures in the office.
Oh, yeah. Okay, now, yeah, no, absolutely. And I've been talking about that too. I think that's, that's something on the sideboard. If you're absolutely right, that's a tax that's already being charged on, paying by a lot of business here in the county. So if, I think that's a great deal.
It's a self tax they can go to first responders.
Yes.
Law enforcement.
Yeah, and I'm for it.
So help y'all here.
But that's a workshop thing, I guess. I don't know.
That's just FYI.
Yeah, it's great. So, the contract, what did you ask? Contract services?
Yeah, shouldn't that go up since our daily rate's going up?
So.
It looks like we're pretty, far along on that. That contract services also includes.
Right now, we still have.
Some of the medical.
I'd have to look, let's see. You know, I'm looking for students, but in so, you know, Judge, I would like to say, yeah, you know, because who likes, you know, everybody likes money. But right now, we still got 123,000 left, which is about 33% of what's telling me. And so I think right now we should be at 25% roughly, is that right? So we're.
Well, I think there's two different things in that contract service. I'll have to go look and see. I think, some of that is medical stuff. The contract part for the medical goes into there, which is the fixed amount of 26,000 a
Yes, sir.
month. And then the remaining amount is the inmate housing.
It would be my recommendation to the board, I guess, the court,
Correct.
that, you know, we leave it the way it is unless.
Okay,
it's something that you
no
think
problem.
different.
I mean, unless our housing increase. If we don't start getting people out, then we may need to increase it just a little bit, but, hopefully we can.
Well, I
I
just noticed in the last month, you're doing 15, you know, well, more than 10. Usually it's like 7 or 8 down in
Yes.
Athens, and it's been double that in the last.
So one of the reasons behind that is, for some reason, who knows why, we're seeing an influx in females versus males. So we just don't have the proper housing for the females, even though Manelli, so Captain Bender's been doing a great job of doing some Tetris moving of sales and this and that. You know, it's just a waste of time.
Yeah. And I've looked over all of their charges and they're mostly felony charges. It's not something that we can just. Kind of yard one and get them out. My next task is moving some more males out. And then we have 2 long hauls and then 2 cross hauls. The 2 cross hauls are gonna be my female hauls. So that's the only thing I can do at this point for females, because no one's taking them.
You think TDC is what slows it down? I mean, is it?
I have, I think, 2 or 3 females that are waiting on TDC, so. You know, it's not TDC.
And so just to kind of clarify too, I was informed this morning by Captain that TDC has went to 7 to 1 days. For every 1 day, you get 7 days credit. So that tells you that even they're full. And they're trying to get people out. So anyway, so the contract services, you know, I don't know, Judge, I think that if we run across that.
Well, and you know,
I think maybe come to court and say, hey.
the court is very willing to
We
look at that.
misjudged this by a couple thousand, can you help us out?
Okay,
That's my opinion.
all right.
So we'll just stick with the jail for right now then. Inmate food, that needs to be increased. From 260 to 295, so that's what, 35,000. As you know, again, this is no secret to anybody that is alive in today's time. Everything going up, including food.
And for anybody listening, these are mandates. You have to pay for it.
We have to, yeah. And we've been very fortunate. Captain Bender's done a great job. She has made great, she has great contacts, and we get a lot of food donated from other jails. It's crazy. And how much food that we get donated to, and it saves a lot of money. So, and even with that, we're still running really right to the wire right now. So we're gonna make it.
Who is it? Who's got the contacts?
And
So
one thing,
That's the.
we're running down to the wire. She's pre-planned all the meals out and everything, got us, I believe, we're gonna.
It's gonna be really close. We have a new kitchen supervisor that's doing very well on inventory and making sure that trying to get the lowest. I mean, we have 2 vendors at this point just to be competitive. So if this one is cheaper on something, we're doing half and half. To try to keep the costs low, and then utilizing our donations in the meal prepping to use those items also.
So we're doing everything we can, but yeah, but you're right, I mean, we have to feed them. Unfortunately. How's it go?
We pick a potato 100 different ways, I'm telling you.
Yeah, yes. So on the jail side, that's it. There's that.
How is your new jail maintenance person doing?
I'm glad you asked. He has saved us, I don't have the numbers as far as how much money, because you just never know how much money is being saved. But, as far as maintenance tickets, we went to a system kind of like, IT does, it will help desk ticket. But it's not help desk, we just keep track. And thus far, I don't have the numbers, I'm sorry.
I sent them to you a couple of months ago and I don't remember, but we do, even in NCIC, if the inmates have a plumbing issue, their water is too hot or not hot enough, whatever, they put in a ticket and goes to him and he goes and adjusts it. I think we've only had to call the plumber out, on something that was major, had to cut into the wall type deal and run cameras through, but other than that, he's handled everything. I've kind of somewhat become a pro at plumbing and, go and get supplies and, learning myself. So, it takes all of us, but we are doing it.
So if we
better.
we have plumbing issues at home, we can call you.
I can tell you that, like I said, it's hard to put a money value on it, but I can tell you that we haven't had to call out emergency services or, electricians out in a long time.
And that was the whole
Besides
point.
maintenance.
That was the whole point behind.
Yeah, and that was it. And it's been great. I mean, and he doubles as, still a driver too, detention officer, so he fills in sometimes when he does that, so.
We utilize him as our transport officer.
Yeah, so we use him he's a multi-tool, what he is, and it's worked out fabulous. Fabulous. So, yeah.
I like to hear that kind of stuff.
I do
Like
too.
that. I like it.
Well, we were paying, $250 more for a service time,
Right.
and like say a water leak, we need somebody right now, well, that's $250 to get there right now. That's not no more, we don't, unless.
That's just to get them there.
That's just to get them there, yeah. So now, unless it's a true, like Captain said, we gotta go into a wall or something like that. But he's already looked at it and said, hey, you gotta go on a wall, so then we get them out there, so, but other than that, it's been a true, I would say it's paid for itself. For sure, easily, in savings.
Okay, back to the sheriff's office.
Back to the sheriff's office. So that salary is including the moving the part-time to full-time as well. So, and that's gonna be needed as much as we can. Fuel lubricants, I'm not the only one again. That's the only thing that I went up there. No, that's not true. Fuel lubricants, I went up about $75,000. And that number came from exactly where we're at today. Because next month we're going to be negative. Just to let you know. I think I sent y'all an email.
Right.
Talking about that.
And I did the analysis on it and show where the price of gas went up in March by $1.50 through May.
Yeah, I think we were averaging around 14 or 15, then it went up to 17, 18, and now it's 20 to 22,000 a month is what we're spending on gas. So, that's there's that. And then the training, went up $5,000 from 15 to 20,000. So that's that part. And then on the next page, I'll scroll down, I don't know where it's at right there. Right.
Over there, yeah.
Yeah, over there. So, and on the vehicles, it was, I went up on that, and that gives me 5.5 cars. So, and on that, I can tell you that we're down, we're taking out of service 4 cars. And I have that list right here with me. No, in the past, we've had them.
Are we selling them?
You know, at this point,
We can sell them or we can utilize them in county and other areas.
Okay,
I can tell you that I have listed here to 2018, two 2018 Tahoes and two 21 Ford Explorers. And it goes from 140,000 miles to 186,000 miles. So, you know, there's that.
okay.
Are the vehicles being retired, LTE or? They're gonna be 4A retirements. So we'll need to add. So we'll have to add M500 camera. He's talking about a camera system. So Motorola has stopped servicing the 4RE camera, the digital camera inside the vehicle. They're not servicing it, they're not applying any more parts to it. That's forcing us to move everything over to the M500s. You can still use it, but if it crashes on you, you're done with it. So that's what stops.
How many of those do we have?
M500 cameras. They're
No,
in
the old style.
the old ones. I'll tell you, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
6, okay.
That are in right now.
And that's they're all in these vehicles that we're gonna retire.
All of those vehicles that we're going to retire those for.
Okay.
They have the 4RE cameras.
Yeah, 4 plus 2 that are in service now.
So does the 450 that you got up there, is that rigged out, ready to go?
Yes, sir. Yeah,
On 4 vehicles? 5.
Five. And the reason why it says 5.5, that's because, the CID vehicles, they don't have all the cameras and all that stuff, and they're a little bit cheaper, so that's where I get the 0.5. Because with Scott's help, these prices are not including what Scott has to purchase. These are just
Right.
our basic installs, like, Fire Marshal was saying earlier, and he's right, it's about $80,000 to buy a car and equip.
Mm-hmm.
Not counting the computer and camera that Scott.
A radio.
Is that what we heard yesterday? I know what we heard yesterday.
That's what we tried to get to, but it never occurred.
We get them for $80,000 out the door. You asked me a question, well, no, the radio, that is not including radio. What we do on the radios is, I took advantage of us still being, not signed off on the radios yet, the radio project. I took advantage of that and we ordered the sheriff's office, not the radio committee. The sheriff's office ordered four new radios underneath the contract price now before we accept the program. So we got the radios, half price, and they're sitting there waiting for new cars for us. Now, I want to make sure everybody understands. The radio committee did not purchase it out of the radio communications budget.
Right.
That was purchased out of the sheriff's office budget for future improvement. Yes, sir. So that's our good.
We appreciate that.
So we have them sitting there. We try. So that's it on that.
One more question. Yes, we will need 6 more ticket printers.
Is that what, are they radar equipped?
Yes, sir. Yeah, that's everything. And what's the one there, please?
The what?
We can tell them what's all.
Yeah, so inside our vehicle, what's actually inside our car right now. So we have our computer, which is our laptop that's provided by IT. We have a ticket writer that's also in there. Every vehicle ordering this point forward is equipped with a dual stalker radar in it. So the last batch we ordered have the stalker radars in it. We actually purchased 4 more stalkers last year with budget to be able to make those vehicles radar equipped too.
That's as soon as we get them, we put them on the streets.
Mhm.
Yes, sir. That's storage compartments, lights, that's ready.
We're actually having our vehicles built by Defender right now. So when we purchase a vehicle and I set up the build with Defender, we get everything lined out, Defender goes and picks the vehicle up, it never comes to the sheriff's office, it goes straight to upfit. And then once the equipment's ordered, it's put on the production floor, it's done, and then either we go pick it up or it's delivered back to us. And when I'm looking at vehicles and purchasing them, I'm just not looking in Texas. The last one we purchased, I went all the way to Roberts, Arkansas to get it, because I can get it cheaper.
What's the estimated time,
Lead time.
lead
Yeah.
time for this car to be.
Road
work
ready.
It depends on where the equipment is with wheeling. We put wheeling on our vehicles. The reason why we do that is you gotta have a quality on it. So it depends on what the upfits do as far as if the equipment's coming in. The last three I had to wait almost 2-3 months for a lot of parts to come. For them to build them and manufacture them. So you're looking at about probably, if we can get it there and get the equipment ordered on time, you're looking at probably about 4 to 6 months before we're actually getting it back hit the streets.
So just give you a little scenario, we've been waiting on three, we've been waiting on three, for about 4 months now, it's about 4 months now, but they're getting towards the end.
Yeah.
And we should be getting close.
Where is Defender?
They got 2 locations. They have one, I believe, that's closer to San Antonio, and they have one in Argyle.
Okay.
And when they come from us, they're fully ready to go, graphics, everything along.
So that is the sheriff's office, everything else is, no change except what, I explained to y'all there. Thankful. So moving forward. One thing that I didn't judge wasn't printed out for me was the actual dispatch breakdown. Line items, it's actually.
Yeah, I don't know what,
Yeah,
the,
so I'll just make it really easy, the dispatch is, we would like to increase, training on the dispatch, which I included that already, in the training line item of the $5,000, because I was not afforded the worksheet for all of dispatch line items, so, you know, that's, I included in that already. That's part of that as well.
Do you have very much turnover in dispatch?
Say again?
Do you have very much turnover in dispatch?
Not really, no. I mean, I think our last turnover was probably 6 months ago. Laura, she retired.
Yeah, she retired.
She retired. We had one retired, so that's not really turnover. She retired. And then one before that went to Canton. So we really just 2 in the past. Huh? Yeah, so you're talking probably 4 months ago. We had one retired and one go on to, I don't even know what's more than me.
Are they all 40-hour? I mean, like they work 40 hours?
12-hour day.
What are they? It's like a deputy. 86 hours. 86, yep. So, but we're
Get overtime, 40 hours, they don't follow.
yeah, there you go.
But you're short right now of dispatchers,
One,
but you're asking for 4 new ones.
because we just had one leave.
Okay.
So we're not, so we are short one, but yet we still have one in the pipe. We're getting another one again. So that's another thing that I'll discuss with you is that, we're full, except the one that just quit. So we're full. Patrol's full. We got one that just,
We got 2 in the academy through our jail program where we promote from within the jail. We have 2 in the academy right now. One graduates July 18th, next one graduates September the 2nd.
so we're doing great. As a matter of fact, we had a detention officer say that, he had a bunch of life issues going on and he quit at 2 o'clock in the morning. He was supposed to be there at 6, he quit. But as soon as Cap came in that office that morning, she called the next guy in line and said, "Hey, come on." And he was actually today.
Well, he came in for,
Just testing.
his.
His PP test. He came in for his PP test today. So I think that was last Wednesday when that guy quit. 2 o'clock in the morning, or Thursday or something, whatever day it was. And we already have somebody hired now. So we have a waiting list. And it's just really.
That's awesome.
It's really great.
So And
Could you say that just one more time for real loud?
I know I did hear a rumor today that
Process together.
I did hear a rumor this morning that I have and he's a young kid, says that, he can't make it on his paycheck, so he was looking for something else, so. We do have those that are chasing money, I don't think he'll be with us very much longer, so.
But so we're doing really well in the employment section of what we're doing.
so, and the reasoning behind 4 additional dispatchers,
Because we need, the call volume,
you're running 3 or 2 right now.
we're running 2 kind of with the swing. And I can tell you, if I do the numbers.
We had a conversation not long ago, you and I did.
Take
About, you and I had a conversation the other day, not long ago, about a guy being on hold for, and you told me you were glad I saw that. Like there was a guy that called, he had to be on hold for a little while.
Yeah. So I had the numbers written down somewhere.
Well, and the reason I'm asking, because I know the answer, part of the answer is, part of the critical spares that we're getting for the new radio system includes another dispatch console. And that's going to be installed.
Yes, sir.
Which will give you basically 3 consoles for regular calling volume, and then the 4th one will be used by the supervisor.
Yes, and so I can tell you, I know the numbers, I just haven't written down to the exact. We have, we're estimating, not estimating, last year we had, over 15,000 calls. 15,000, that's including traffic stops for the county. Without traffic stops, we had 13,000, I just wrote it down, 13,200 is what we had. So if you do that math, divided by 12, divided by 30 days, that's about
42 a day.
There you go. 42 calls a day.
A mathematician.
42 calls in a 24-hour period.
Yes, sir. I don't know.
How many dispatchers do you have at a time working? Like 2 at a time?
2
Two.
supervisor.
Yeah. So with the supervisor. So, you know, now these ladies, they're really the backbone of the whole county, if you will, the whole county. And they're answering 911 calls, non-emergency calls. They're answering the phone lines, the regular phone lines. You know, they're doing so much. You know, they're busy. They're busy.
Yeah, and one of the things on a dispatcher, you know, not only are they answering all the 911 calls, the majority of the calls, and you have those 2, and it's consuming their time because they're having also to provide a special service. I mean, it's just not, you know, they have to know what they're doing. But at the same time, they're also, and the sheriff said, they're answering the radio for all the law enforcement within this county. So if somebody takes out on a traffic stop, you've got a dispatcher that's also doing a 911 call at the same time, but also having to be alert to that traffic stop in case something happens or an emergency or something. And they're working actual emergencies because they're also dispatching for the fire departments. So it takes you have to be multitask to do that, and also be able to operate 3 to 4 different computer type systems and know what you're doing to get everything right. And we rely on them because whenever we have to pull call logs and go back, everything has to be dead on. And because now that's a permanent record, and it's going to follow it from the time that call came in all the way to the trial. And if you don't have somebody there that's capable of doing that, and you start having gaps in it, our service is good. It's not as good as it should be. That being said, with additional personnel, it helps. It helps. And as far as the types of calls coming in, will that increase or decrease? I've always been, I've never seen where calls decrease for service. It's always increased in my career. I've been doing this about 34 years. It's always increased.
And more people you stack in here than what we're
Well,
gonna have.
growing 1,000 people a year.
Yeah.
So I'll give you just a quick scenario what we did the other day or last 2 weeks ago. We did an operation with DPS and local cities where we targeted, certain areas. And we brought in a dispatcher to make overtime, to be dedicated to this operation. And we made over 360 traffic stops, is that correct? Over 360 traffic stops. That's including everybody together. And they were all on that one console with that one dispatcher. So, adding a dispatcher will also afford us more opportunities to do things like that without wearing our people out and things like that.
And that was part of that grant deal?
I'm sorry?
Was that part of the grant thing that you?
No, that's not, that's like the grant.
Totally
The
different.
grant was separate, and then for the grant thing, we did the same thing. Yes, sir. And I don't know how many traffic stops with that. I'd have to go back and look at it. It was a lot as well. I don't remember. It wasn't 300. It wasn't 300, but it was in the hundreds. So anyway, so that's the one of the
And
reasons.
that program's over, right?
The clicker ticket is, yes.
Yeah.
Now we're moving on to another one.
Operation Solutions.
Operator. So we'll be doing it again. And we'll be bringing another dispatcher in for some overtime and handling those calls or handling that particular grant. And in doing that too, with the salary, what I did is also included, one of the dispatchers, because now we have one supervisor. And what I did is, I added a title to one of the supervisors, one of the dispatchers. It'd be like, I guess like a corporal, if you will. The actual title is. She gave me the actual title. Somewhere in here. It's just another supervisor, because the main supervisor, she can't be there every day, 24 hours a day.
Right.
And so we need another
like
level in there.
Like a nighttime super or second shift
So
supervisor.
that's built in there as well. And so there's that.
You want to talk about your canine?
So the K9. As you know, we added a K9, and so what I did is, with the K9, you have annual testing where you have to be certified annually to do drugs and everything else, the food, the vets, and some training. So I came up with a total of $4,080, and that's not in a line over there. Okay.
Yeah,
Uh,
we need to make it a line item
Okay,
on your
so
budget.
that's $4,080. I added that. And again, this is my first time having asked to add a line item. I don't know how that works. It can be just K9 expenses line item. I don't know, but that's what another request that I've had. Right there.
Ask and ye shall receive.
I'm sorry.
Ask and ye shall receive.
Yeah. So
Maybe.
maybe. Yeah. So I did add that in there as well. And
And your canine was from forfeiture funds, right?
it was, yeah, the K9 was free of charge, to the county. It was provided us, by the drug dealers that we busted. So, thank you, drug dealers that we busted. I don't know, sir, I don't know, I asked him to give me a budget, that's what he gave me. So. I don't know, he gets like 2 cups of food a day, so. He gets.
Don't want them getting fat. That's what.
Gotta keep them lean.
We'll take him to jail and feed him some bananas or something, I don't know. But anyway, so that portion of it.
Must be a chihuahua.
Any questions on that?
No, sir.
All right. What's next?
I got building security.
All right, build security, same thing, just the salary increase is the only thing that, I put in there.
I'm not even pull it up. It takes me too long. We'll be done with it by the time you go through it.
That's fine. Well, that's the only thing that's increased. That's it. And that's still the average that we talked about.
Right.
The below average of 9% plus the 3%. That's 12.
12%.
That increased that. That's
what are we talking about? Courthouse security?
yes, sir.
Yes.
Sergeant Martinez. Because it's our, his particular position is under a whole nother section.
Any other major projects we're working on?
So there's a project that's being looked at right now. It's moving the IT closet door from inside of our conference room, our training room, moving it to the other side where it's not being interrupted by IT. We need to go in there. We've had some concerns that if something goes down, and it's happened a handful of times where if something goes down and we're holding class or court or whatever in there, that IT has to go in there and interrupt all that. So we're trying to get some quotes to move that door from one side to the other side. Right now, it's looking like it's gonna be around 4,000. I really don't know. I think they said $700 to move the electrical, and then whatever it is, it's gonna cost the carpenters to come in and
Reframe it.
reframe and unframe. So you might know more about that than I do. I don't know. It's closing the door up and putting a new door in. I don't know. So I was told roughly around 4,000, everything. So that's one project. There's a couple other things I'd like to see this year come up for us. And I'll just have to figure it out. Move some trickery stuff going on in my budget, but I'd like to try to figure out how we can get some either new carpet or new flooring down or something. The checkerboard is just not cutting it anymore. It's just, I mean.
That, and we just have huge cracks in our floors, especially in the gym. So it's just a nice one.
That and also a whole new bookend countertops and everything for the back there because
It's awful that hard.
pretty bad. But that's okay. We'll get it fixed. No problem.
All right.
That's how we do it.
Making do with what we got. That's what I like.
So, but that's it. So, any questions?
No questions?
Negative.
All right, motion or?
Yes. All right, we are concluded for today for our workshop. 20 minutes early.
I appreciate your struggle. Well, yeah, it's a general theme for all of us, really. Are we done?
Yes. Ready to go, articulate. Good ones.
How do you get a hard copy of all that? You have to send it to me and then we print it out?
It's best to wait till we get all the changes back and the salaries in there so you can see it all. But if you just send me an email if you got 30 things you want, and I'll send it to you.
I don't want to make it any harder on you then. It's hard to sit here and be trying to see that screen and, anyways.
What's wrong with you? Well, we're gonna get with y'all, I'll let y'all know we need to get started.
I'll take it.
I got a new cartoon in my office.
Any calls that take 20 shots, I'll switch forward.
Well, you know what, I got a dump truck. I got a dump truck yesterday morning, turning off the county road, coming off the 7th. I was coming over. I looked around and stopped. I need to learn where these all say. She's no traffic accident. You go straight, let's just show it. I'm down here. I said, but you're tearing up our county.
Yeah, Scott, we probably,
Rewind cover.
All the way around.
we probably need to look at replacing the audio recorder. Cause they have to reboot it every time you use it, right?
They're a little loose in their spending sometimes. But I just need to say no one or two times. So. I don't have any idea what rewind cover. It's probably for a hose reel on the truck, you know, the cover that goes over the hose reel. That's what I'm guessing it is.